Hi all, Plantside Agent here. Today I'm going to take a look at some modifications and setup I have for the Widesea cook system. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. This is the second video on this cook system. The first video I did a boil test and general discussion of the kit. So I'll be putting a link to that in the description box if you're interested in watching it. And I alluded to some of these changes in that video, so I'm going to cover those. Originally I wasn't sure whether I was going to do a second video or not, but after I did all the little changes I said, oh, why not? I'll just show you everyone what I did and we'll go from there. So I guess since this is handy, for starters right here, on the first video, one of the things I noted with the French press sieve, I guess you could call that, it does come apart. I'll go ahead and do it anyway. You need to, if you're going to store it inside the pot, you do need to take it apart because you have the little shaft here. There's no way that you can get all the other gear in there, including the fuel canister with this set up. So you have to separate this out and store it inside. But one of the things I noted that the nut, let's see if we can get in here close, the nut that this screws into was loose and it could fall out. And I thought, well, like I say, if you're out in the woods and you drops off, you'd probably never find it again. Then you're stuck. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and put some JB weld on the back of it, and I did. And there you go, a couple of little JB weld back there. That thing will be secure, and that won't be a worry if I decide to use this as a French press. Okay, that was the first minor one. Okay, let me open this up and get all the stuff out. Oh, by the way, this is how I'm packing it in now. I've got the canister stand on top. Then I have the smaller 100, 110 gram isobutane cartridge, and I put a little of this, what do you call this, microfiber type cloth in it for two reasons. One, it's handy to have for cleanup and all, and also it helps keep this canister from rattling around, because you can see there's quite a bit of space between the canister and the side of the pot. So to keep that from banging around, I can wrap this around it, and serves two purposes. Okay, then the last piece is the burner itself. And one of my observations on the first video was on the side of this. Let's show that. It kind of flared out, which prevented it from really getting seating inside the pot. So it would just actually rest right here. If you forced it down, you'd be tough trying to get that thing back out again. So I was debating whether I was going to grind that down or not so I could drop it in. I was kind of, at the time, wasn't sure, because it would, as if you look at the first video, put the cartridge in first, and you could set this on top, and it would just nest in there, and everything fit in there just fine. But I don't know, I went back and forth, so I finally, yesterday, it was cold and rainy, nothing else to do, and I said, what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and grind that down. So I did. It wasn't much problem. Just have a bench grinder. I ground it down and then used a little emery paper to smooth it up a little bit. So worked just fine. Now it slides in and out of the pot without any problems. So then, those are the two modifications I made to the Cookset. Now, getting it all in the pot. Well, for starters, you can't get all this in the pot and close the lid. You might have to make some other changes. I say that it did come with a bag, so if you don't get the lid seated on it, you still could keep it from getting lost by keeping it in the bag and keeping it secured. So that's if you want to use well, basically, if you want to add this to the kit, it complicates things, and I'll show you that real quick. So now when you look at the description, I'll try to put a photo of that here, and how to stack this in here. They recommend you put this in first, and then I believe I need to go back and look. Okay, the way the photo in the description of the Cookset shows it, the burner goes on the bottom, and then you put the strainer, the French press strainer on top, and in that you put the stand for the propane canister, and then you put this upside down on top, and then you got this. So I found that I couldn't get the lid on, so let's go ahead and try it again. I'll probably be wrong. Well, even though you glue the or you JB weld the little nut onto it, this still will separate, but that's not that big of a problem. I guess if you're, well, you really wouldn't want to. You could put a drop of JB weld here and keep this all secure, but then it'd be kind of hard to tear this apart and clean the screen out if you wanted to do that, which you probably would after a fashion. So anyway, let's go ahead and load it according to the directions. So this guy goes on the bottom, and then it doesn't show where to put the metal rod. We'll have to figure that out in a minute. So then that goes in next, and then followed by and then this guy goes in. And as you can see, with this arrangement, that the lid's not going to sit tightly on there. And as far, I'm not sure where you're going to put this guy, because no matter how you put him, he's kind of in the way. Guess you might, well, you could probably put him there on the side. No, that doesn't really want to work either. So that's a puzzle. I'm thinking, so what I do to load it in here without the, and then getting it back out again's a little bit of a trick. As you can see, it's kind of fiddly. But, so basically what I do, and found that this will work out just fine, is I take this in first, and then I put the propane canister right on top. And I like that idea too, because of the concave nature of the canister. It sits over the top of the piezo and the burner, so you're not going to have to worry about that getting damaged. And it's, even if you slide it around, there's still plenty of room. You're not really going to be touching the piezo. That's my biggest concern. Also, if you put like a little bit of this microfiber cloth in there around that, then that's going to keep it from jiggling around and maybe, bang it against us, which I don't think it will. So that's just a thought. So that's kind of the way I'm doing it. So I'll put this guy in. Then I can set the fuel canister in on top. Go ahead and throw my microfiber cloth in there around it. Hope we can see here. And then I can just put this in on top here. As you can see, it all fits in there nice and snug, and doesn't really rattle around. And then I can put then the lid will clamp down on top, so it won't fall out. So that's the best way I've found to load this thing, and it seems to work. And I got to thinking, well, if I want to bring the French press, what I can do is the stuff sack is plenty big. Throw that in there. I'll probably just go ahead and I got one right here. I was getting ready to do that. Go ahead and put this in a plastic bag so it keeps all the parts in one place. Okay. And then what you can do is just load this in to its plastic bag. Come on. I hope this is all staying in frame. It's kind of hard to do this with the viewfinder of the camera behind me. And then this would probably you could just set him on top here, and there you go. Now you got everything pretty much self-contained, and stuff's not gonna wander off on you. So Anyway, that was the mods and the changes and some of the trials and tribulations I went through to set this thing up. Now I just have to get out and play with it in the field. So can't think of anything else. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.